The opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the hosts and guests and do not represent the views of any Grand Lodge nor a pendant body of Freemasonry.
Welcome back, brother, to one more segment of Masonic Shelf Shorts. I have to say it slow, otherwise I'll say it wrong. I'm one of your hosts, Chris Williams.
And I'm your other host, Brad Kohanke. And today we've got Brother Dennis Yates, who is going to be sharing a paper with us entitled The Relevance of Freemasonry in Today's World. And Dennis is a co-host of Masonic Improvement, another podcast. If you have not enjoyed their episodes, I advise you to go and download those as well because they do a fabulous job. So sit back, relax, and enjoy Dennis's talk.
During the election season, we see many brothers begin to express their ideas on what they would like to achieve as officers of the lodges, all having the best of intentions, I might add. No one sets off with the goal of running off the members. But I've seen the very best of intentions fall very short because, as we know, people are creatures of habit. Yet are we? Different perspectives of brothers influence our fraternity into an evolution of change we were blind to. I would like for you to consider the relevance of what Freemasonry has to offer. Without all the distractions that have steered us off course on many occasions. So in essence, shouldn't the direction of our officers always be the will of the lodge? Yet even further, shouldn't the will of the lodge be what the title of their name represents? In this case, we're discussing Freemasonry. Prior to the Industrial Revolution, men were home on the farms, or close to them at least. At that time, the passing down of trades and skills were part of the natural father-son bonding process, which both men needed. We needed those rites of passage then, and we still need them as part of our maturing process today. We need that foundational mentorship in the form of the apprentice. It is to learn and to build our confidence so our ambitions and zeal for life don't fizzle out. We need someone to invest in us. The master needs the rite of passage just as importantly. It not only justifies our accomplishments by our ability to pass down our knowledge and skills, by being worthy and relevant enough for them to be handed down, it also keeps us focused on our own sharpness so that we can build upon the stones our predecessors laid. A process much like some of those cathedrals of old that started with rudimental square base stones and became much more ornate through the generations that completed the projects. Consider what we know about our brothers who stay on top of their ritual catechism. The mind is one of the pillars of long life, and it's proven over and over with data from medical journals. But we can also see it with our members who regularly strengthen their memory skills. Is that not a valuable lesson to pass to your brother? Then we can turn over the reins to the carriage with confidence one day, knowing our understudies will steer us in the right direction going forward with the same and hopefully more competence to build upon our legacy for future generations to come. A concept I'll end this presentation with shortly. In essence, the father and son had the bonds and the relationships needed to build legacies. But just like the son often takes a different turn in that knowledge gained, Freemasonry does the same with misinterpretation of what the ritual represents. What we hope to find is that with understanding and contemplation, we will find the wisdom in those first lessons learned as we mature in our life journey. But we must still pursue maturity, don't we? Then going on to consider the flood of immigrants to the country during those beginning years of wealth and prosperity, we specifically needed the lessons of meeting upon the level to learn it was okay to be different because we are all, as a people, basically still the same with the same quests in our hearts and minds. Therefore, we should work toward the common good despite the prejudices we once had, ultimately turning those differences into admiration of each other's strengths, that we may best work and agree in an effort to build up the masses. The allegory in our ritual causes, or at least should cause us, to question our own identity as the complex creatures of this earth that we are. Who we are in relation to our Maker, and how do we get closer to the mysteries of the mind of our grand architect. Then We may be confident in being chosen for the good works of our Creator, yet humble in knowing that we are merely recipients of the designs upon the trestle board, which one could call the blessings of the intellect. There is a growing need for interpersonal relationships from our young men today. They're looking for a torch to carry that's real. They need real rites of passage that leveling up in a video game will never fulfill. They need true and trusted friends to be their mentors. They need support on how to become a man and function effectively and honorably in their several stations. Social media and video games do not aid in building character, only in building points. Points in games, clicks, likes, and dislikes. The different degrees and rights are even more important today than they have been in many years. We are in another culture shift in America and the world, one that needs the University of Freemasonry to assist in its transition. Freemasonry is in a renaissance state that requires universal brotherly love that Freemasonry alone can offer in its finest form. Or is that really different from before? If we listen to the words written by Albert G. Mackey in his book series, The Encyclopedia of Freemasonry, we would know that we were always intended to seek out the internal revelations of the soul that can only come from a developed intellect coupled with the spirit that flows throughout us from the Grand Architect. What do you think ritual and symbolism is for? In fact, he felt it was so important to Freemasonry that he assisted his York Rite apprentice, Albert Pike, in creating one of the most powerful set of degrees in the world within the Scottish Rite, taking a deep dive into the mystic lessons to be learned. Yet he also explains that those lessons begin in and are noticeable to the educated in the first three craft degrees. We can call it initiation, revelation, inspiration, or simple rebirth. The simple truth is that if we listen to Mackey, Pike, Gould, Lightfoot, Manly P. Hall, all these brothers from the past and other brothers, which hopefully I can emulate one day, we will find this experience is salvation that comes from a stairway of lessons or degrees. Now the moment has come to expand on what it is we really have to offer today that's the same as the late 1800s. It's everything I just explained in one simple word: charity. Not the kind we tend to throw money at or use in a failed attempt to promote Freemasonry by forms of scholarships. Those are just tax exemptions. Those aren't the real purpose or product of Freemasonry. Our time, ourselves, brotherly love and affection, the commitment to ourselves and our brothers that we will work to understand the difference between the symbolized and the symbol, just like brothers such as Elias Ashmole and the great Leonardo da Vinci did when they gave us the blueprints to follow during the Enlightenment period. The craft of today needs the same thing we needed way back when: our attention to detail in the development of our membership. Not the members, we don't need extra members, our current members. We do not have a membership problem. We are right-sizing, and we need to focus on who we have in front of us and not those who are not there yet. It's a value proposition. For me, that means our strict adherence to only providing our very best effort to assist our brothers and lift them up. In this way, they will bring honor to themselves, their families, their communities, and our fraternity. We have the opportunity and obligation to serve our brothers first, to protect them and their families from harm, to inspire them to do the same for those around them. When not physically, then lift them up spiritually, intellectually, and morally. What we used to offer before insurance companies, public education, and social welfare systems. It's time to release our bodies from our cable toe. And our cable toe is the ignorance of our past, just as the first degree teaches. It's our previous thinking that holds us back. The exoteric charity is definitely a byproduct of a good man. However, it was never meant to be the product of Freemasonry. We are not meant to be civil service groups. We have plenty of those in the world, and frankly, they're much better at it than us. We need to utilize the points of the compasses, draw them in to sharpen our passions into focus-driven work, educate ourselves so that we may be better equipped to mentor our new Masons, become the men who work at a high degree of effort, focused on aiding the craft the way we were taught to in our lessons, working effectively to provide the best experience to those around them in Freemasonry as possible. Men who care about your takeaway, the meaning in your life after you go home to your family. Men committed to your success in Freemasonry and life.